My name is Jonathan Katz. I am your host for today for our Tech Tuesday calls. Tech Tuesday calls are where we engage with entrepreneurs, tech leaders, businesses, app developers, where we learn a little bit more about the tech that they use, a little bit more about their workspace, and we generally have engaging conversations on technology. And we are so thankful today to be joined by Peter, a tech entrepreneur in the Philadelphia space. So Peter, welcome.
Thanks, Jonathan. Great to be here.
Would you like to maybe give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Sure. I am, like Jonathan said, I'm Peter Yeargin. I'm founder of a startup called Sage, and we are actually in the midst of a very big pivot from an expert marketplace to an SEO software as a service tool. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to kind of be here with all of you guys and talking through some of this stuff. I'm a father. I've got two little girls, a 3.5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and I live just outside of Philadelphia, like Jonathan said. So
nice. I share a 1.5-year-old with you, so we can exchange war stories at some point as well. A 1.5-year-old girl as well. So, I've known a lot about Sage and the journey. Without maybe getting into the details too soon, you want to tell me a little bit more about that pivot?
Yeah, we at a very high level, we are pivoting to offering customers a SEO optimization capability for content generation, where we're helping them create content that ranks unfairly fast, I would say, compared to how they would be doing it themselves. And we going down this road because we're pretty good at SEO ourselves, because we looked at SEO as a strategic way for us to recruit customers into our marketplace. And we realized pretty quickly that we could probably turn this into even better generation of organic traffic through a blog. And then once we got good at that and saw some of the performance from that, we were like, well, you know what, maybe some other customers might want to do this. And for that journey also. And about 4 weeks ago, we started talking to customers, and 25 customers in now on a subscription service since then.
Wow.
So,
oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the tech impact to that? Because was your system already built up to handle that, or did you have to go back to the tech team and do some reconfiguration?
Here, we're completely redesigning and rebuilding a whole new tech platform to be able to handle the tech behind the pivot right now is Wizard of Oz stuff behind the curtains. Okay. We're doing a lot of manual work, and while we're doing the manual work and testing out and validating the theories that we come up with new customers, we're turning it into code as well. So,
okay. What was the big tipping point, or what really manifested itself that you had to fully go through this pivot? Because sometimes you get, you catch wind of something, or you might pivot, or you might kind of feel it out a little bit. Was it getting your first customer, or what was that tipping point like?
I would say there was a few things. We launched a blog back in February, and it was sort of like a really quick backstory. And instead of just writing blog content, we put a scientific approach behind the keywords that we put into each blog entry, and then we measured it. And then after 5 months, it was just our keywords and organic traffic were just doing this. And so at the end of August, we started talking to some customers. I think we had 4 customers over the first couple of days that we talked to, potentials, and 3 of them signed up at like $10 a month. And we were like, would you pay $10 a month for something like this? We're like, yeah, of course. But then we kept on talking to customers, and it was $30 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month. And no one was even blinking at it, because SEO costs in general right now are so astronomical to hire specialists. Customers are looking for any type of solution that could potentially help them short circuit that at a lower price point and still see great results. I think that what we're seeing with our own blog is 200 to 300% gains in keywords month over month. So we were doing ourselves, the performance we were getting, and just signed up. the conversations were a lot easier. Jonathan, I think I probably explained to you what an expert marketplace is and explain that to hundreds of people. And it's normally a 10 to 15 minute conversation. When I explain SEO to someone, it takes me 30 seconds before I talk about the problem. 30 seconds. Yeah, so those are kind of some of the indicators that we needed to make the change.
Yeah. How did you have to structure those conversations? Because when you go back to a customer and you switch them over from a non-paying to paying, that's a big step. So was there any strategy kind of structuring those conversations, or how did you approach that?
Well, it actually is just a whole new set of customers, to be honest with you. Most of our customers have been founders and startup founders, and in small and medium business. We've got a few brick and mortar businesses even that are signed up. So it's pretty much anyone that's got a website that needs organic inbound traffic, and they're tired of paying for Google ads. And that's most everyone who's got a business website, right? So
right. So you're going to be targeting, I guess, more customers this way?
Yeah. So we've got some pretty unique and interesting go-to-market and customer acquisition strategies that I feel like are really going to our customer acquisition costs down quite a bit, and while having a really strong lifetime value of customers as well. So I'm thinking we can get those ratios to normally they ask you to get an LTV to CAC ratio of 3 to 1 for founders out there. I think we can probably get it to 100 to 200 to 1. So
just a little above 3 to 1.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Any of those strategies you want to share with the group, or is that kind of your secret sauce?
I think it's a little early. It's part of our secret sauce, I would say, but it is. There's a lot of automation to it. Removing the human element, which is what I would say at a high level, is a key underpinning.
Got it. So switching gears a little bit, I got to say one of the things that always has really impressed me with you and Sage is the social impact that you kind of set out to do, and teaching people and helping people kind of grow and learn things is a major benefit and something to aspire to. So it sounds like you're still going to do that with this pivot, but has that ever resonated with you, or how do you feel about the social impact that you make on people?
It's an interesting question, and we are having success with the SEO stuff, but to me, it's not like we're going to stop the expert marketplace, because it is to get some legs under it. We're getting about 3,000 unique users a month now. So we're getting users on the website, and only about a third of those users are paid advertising. The rest of that is organic traffic and social media acquisition. We're going to continue to support that. And I think if you look at sort of our why, our purpose for existing as a company, we exist, and the reason we built Sage was to help people solve really hard problems. And to do that, and how we do that was providing help, and a teammate when you needed, when you were struggling with something that was causing you pain or financial problems or whatever. We are going to be a place to help you kind of solve some of those. And SEO is one of those problems. I feel like lots of people are struggling with SEO and generating inbound traffic. So I don't anticipate changing the name at all. I just feel like SEO is one of our products, and expert marketplace is another one. So.
No, it's incredible. And I love that you're keeping both arms of the business.
Right.
You think that's going to be easy to manage, or you ever see yourself siloing?
I keeping an open mind. I don't know the answer to that, because I think anyone who's going to pivot, everybody tells you to just throw all of your energy into a pivot, and the rest will take care of itself. And so I think most of our energy is the SEO side of things, but because the marketplace is kind of life of its own now, and actually sort of our last big investment in that marketplace today is a big UX improvement and redesign of experience. And so I think that's also going to help quite a bit to continue to get that thing to build organically on itself. Yeah.
Awesome. So then switching gears again, learned a little bit about you, your pivot, your business. Let's get into details a little bit since we are a tech call. What are some of the technology that you've used as you've grown your business and are now sustaining your business? So anything from back office to internal communications. I love a website called SpyFu because I get to learn what other competitors out there search for and look for in keywords. So anything like that you've used that you want to talk about or brag about?
I haven't heard of SpyFu, but I'll check it out. I love cool. Spying on competitors. So
I'll send you a link.
It sounds pretty cool. All right, that sounds awesome. Let's see. There's so many tools, Jonathan. It's crazy, yeah. and part of why we actually launched that technology was because I was even like overwhelmed with the tools. I've got a computer engineering background and 25 years working in tech. So I couldn't imagine all the other people kind of out there struggling and learning the same things I was. I mean, we were using things like Hootsuite and HubSpot and MailChimp and Mailshake. But looking at some of our favorite tools, SEMrush obviously is a big one for us because we use that for statistics for SEO. Ahrefs.com is another SEO tool. So those are two of the three biggest tools out there for SEO. If you're ever trying to figure out how you're performing for inbound organic traffic and what keywords you rank, those tools are pretty much a must-haves, I would say. Yeah. They're not cheap. They're like $100 to $120 per month each. And so that's also where a lot of customers just don't have the funding to kind of put into something like that. Our biggest tool for team communication is Notion, and it's not even close. We use Notion for just about everything we can. It's such an amazing, easy to use, intuitive tool that allows us to put internal custom stuff and just about everything else into one place. And it just makes our lives way easier. And then I think if you're not doing some automation with tools like Zap to connect your G Suites and your Zooms and your Calendlys. I think most people use Calendly or have something for calendar management, but Zapier is a big one for us. I've recently started using a tool called Automate.io, which is similar to Zapier, but they have way more built-up automation for Notion. So I had to move to Automate for our Notion automations. So, yeah,
I gotta check out Notion. I haven't heard of that one, but we are big fans of SEMrush.
So good.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. Because Slack has always been just okay in my book. So anything that could maybe improve communication.
There's no good way to get around using Slack. I mean, we use Slack for all of our sort of asynchronous communication. We use it for all of our documentation and task management and all that happy stuff. So, and then Automate lets us do things like automating emails when we change a customer's status from onboarding to weekly calls, for example, right? Well, it automates email sending and things like that. So anything I do to save us 1 to 2 at every single step along the way, I usually try to do it because it's worth it. It adds up so fast. So
yeah, it pays dividends at the end, right? Yeah. Well, SEMrush I love, so that's awesome that you're using that. I mean, there's some major insight with that tool, and you're right, it's a little steep, but if you're getting major benefits out of it, not the end of the world. So when you were going through your build, because I'm always fascinated in the construction and the build phase, what were some of the bigger technical challenges you faced? I mean, you mentioned Zapier, so I know there was probably some integrations. What was a couple of hurdles that you came up against, and how did you get through those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think picking your technology stack early on is always hard, and no matter what you choose, you're going to have trade-offs. You're going to have advantages and trade, and you kind of just have to pick. Is PHP the right path? Do we need to implement something different? How much JavaScript do you want? Where do you want your website? Do you want to get the free credits with AWS early to start off with. But
Yeah.
is that the place where you want to start, or are you not quite ready for AWS and just want to do something on like GoDaddy? You want a simple website, So I think those conversations are always early on. Figuring those out are important, and then because those impact everything you can do after, right? Because it's really hard to change technology stacks once you've got a platform built. So you're pretty much kind of that's what you're using, unless you want to throw weeks and weeks of time into making major updates. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So enough about tech. Two more questions to go for you. So you're an incredible father. You've taken the time out to meet with me. I know you're well respected in the industry. How do you manage work, life, family, startup? How do you do it? Do you time box? Do you work 25 hours a day? What's the secret there?
Well, I figured out how to add 3 days into my week, but it's some special secret sauce that I can't really share with anyone. Okay. So, no, but seriously, my wife and I have some pretty set aside times where don't work, right? I think in the mornings we've got I've got I get up very early, like 5 or 5:30 each morning, and then I get in an hour to 2 hours work, and then the kids start waking up around 6:30 to 7, and then I've got the kids from 6:30 to 7, about 9 o'clock before I sort of head to the office or virtual or the co-work space that I'm working out of, and then I clock out at like 5 o'clock, come home, do dinner with bedtime. And then kids are usually in bed by 30 to 7. And then my wife and I have dinner. And some nights I work, and some nights we just hang out and watch an episode of Ted Lasso or something, right? So the other interesting thing that was totally my wife's idea, which I thought was brilliant, was I've shifted my work schedule slightly. So I actually work Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I take off Wednesday because it lets us do some fun things with the kids on Wednesdays when a lot of people are working. And then I work on Saturdays. And it's also awesome because I'm a big college football fan. So my is going to get way down on Saturdays, I think, for about 12 weeks. But but it lets me not take away from family time to work while I'm watching college football on Saturdays as well. But before college football season started Saturdays have been super productive because no one ever schedules meetings with you either, right? So you can really buckle down and just keep them hard on a Saturday that you couldn't do otherwise.
Get all done.
So, yeah.
Now, what's your college team?
Clemson. So we got a big game with Georgia this weekend. So.
Yeah. All right, good luck.
Yeah.
I was it caught me off guard. I couldn't believe the season started last week. It's like there was games
last week was sort of week 0.
It's crazy. It totally caught me off. I mean, Penn State doesn't play till next week, so it was excusable for me to miss the official start, but
it sneaks up on you fast, right?
Sneaks up, yeah. I did already get a pumpkin spice latte though, so I'm fully embedded in the fall. So what's next for you? What's next for Sage? It seems like you've kind of like running down this pivot and you got some exciting things coming, but anything you want to share with the group before we let you go today?
Yeah, I think we're gonna continue to build out our tech stack for the new SEO offering. We're gonna continue to sign up customers in our beta program that we've got run now, and probably go out for a fundraise pretty soon if things keep up, right? I think we went from almost no MRR to doing the SEO and having over $1,500 in MRR in less than a month, so the writing's on the wall. If you're going to pay for something and you feel like it adds a lot of value and solves big pain points for them, then you really got to go down that path. So that's kind of what our plan is. So
love it. Well, for everyone listening, you have to check out Sage. We'll make sure we post a link and we make sure everyone has access to it. Peter, you're a heck of an entrepreneur. Thank you for joining us today. Any other closing comments from you?
No, thanks so much for having me, and I really enjoyed that. And if any of your users ever need any SEO help, obviously feel free to reach out. Or just connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy, especially if you're a founder. I love connecting and sharing founders, and Jonathan can totally attest to that. So that's kind of how we
100%.
met in the first place, was just meeting at a startup event and like kind of hitting it off. So I'm always happy to help anyone that could use some advice. So
love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today.